Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I hope y'all can hear me. I'm here with the review for Ready to Love Season 3, Part 2 reunion. Y'all better not ever say I don't love y'all. I am outside in a remote location because I could not get that room to myself for about 15 minutes. I had it to myself, and then I didn't. And I'm not trying to say it's your room too, but when I leave, I leave. Okay, I give you your space. I leave for hours and hours and hours. But you can't tell nobody how to move. So I'm outside. Took it on outside. Hope y'all can hear me. These are not high quality headphones, so hopefully they do the job. All right. So let's get to it. I'm actually glad I came outside. I feel better. I think I needed to touch the earth. All right. So we start with the early rejects, which would be Danny and Sam. Danny says that she doesn't have any regrets because she showed up as her authentic self, and she knows that she was seen as the homie, but she feels like in a foundation of marriage, you want to be friends first. You want to have that friendship. Sorry, y'all, about the win. I know you can hear it. So she doesn't feel bad for coming off as a friend. She actually feels like that's helpful in a relationship. But y'all helped me to see, because I kind of had that same thought process, but y'all helped me to see that you want your relationship, yes, to be a friendship, but you don't want your woman coming off as the homie as soon as you meet her, because then you kind of compartmentalize somebody. So I guess I can understand that. I still really like Danny though, and I hope she does find love because she seems really, really sweet. Sam said that he knew he had a lot going on before he came onto the show. And by that, we find out that Sam actually had, I'm taking these off because I don't know if y'all can hear them. Sam actually has another baby on the way. Y'all remember when he came onto the show, he had a child that was a couple of months old that he had with a woman who he did not have a relationship with. Seemed like it was kind of a little one night standish, or they didn't really know each other that well, and he got that woman pregnant, and so now there's a third child on the way with another woman. And nephew Tommy told him, yeah, you're gonna have to man up. You got 3 different places where you have to show up as a father. And I was actually glad he said that, because sometimes it kind of gets glamorized, like almost like as long as you got like the financial means, the other stuff, like your presence being felt doesn't matter. And I do still believe that matters, coming from somebody who did not necessarily have that full presence. I think it matters a lot, and you have to find a way to do that and balance that in 3 different places. And it's not easy, no matter how you slice it or dice it, it's not easy. And you don't want any child to feel slighted of your love and your affection and your presence and those lessons, because when you're not there, somebody else has to fill in for you. Somebody else has to fill in your presence or fill in those lessons you would have taught. And you could have been a much better representative for those lessons. You could have been a much better person to do that. So that's what I always think about and how I kind of always see it. But I know everybody sees it differently. So then we move on. An unlikely pair has come up. Shay and Raymond have been seeing each other. Raymond said it wasn't romantic. Shay said he lying. It definitely is romantic. I've cooked for him. He's taken me out. He's been a gentleman. She likes his maturity. I think this is a good match because they both kind of silly a little bit. And then Shay doesn't want any more children. Of course, her daughter's grown, so she's not looking to do that. And Raymond needs a woman who's not looking to do that, because if there's a fertile woman around and Raymond's there's a chance that conception could happen. So I'm really glad that these two have gotten together. That actually works. Now Raymond, they start talking to him about the marriage is just a piece of paper thing. I know people have their thoughts or whatever. I don't really care about it. My thing always is, if you believe it's just a piece of paper, then get with other people who believe. I hope y'all can't hear this wind. That is just a piece of paper. Like, don't get with somebody else who doesn't believe that and then try to convince them that they should think like you. Just get with somebody who already believes that, and that way y'all don't have to worry about it. So that's my thoughts. I did have a funny little joke in my head though that I wanted to share with you guys. I thought it would be really comical if one of Raymond's baby mamas told him that they didn't need a DNA test because it's just a piece of paper, What about the relationship? It's about the relationship. I know it's not the same thing, but it did give me a chuckle when I thought of it. But Raymond says you can be together with somebody for 10 years, common law, and that's still a marriage. And Tommy said, no, it's not. Which was funny. And he was like, no, it's not. And in some states, I think a common law is recognized. But I know that once you start getting into like insurance and, once you start getting into your paperworks, it's not always recognized. So you always got to be on the lookout for that. It's a sticky, like I said, just get with people who already believe that. And that way, whatever comes of it, y'all both signed up, to do that. I don't really think that's not my thing, but, whatever other people gonna do, I can't tell y'all how to live. Nephew Tommy wants Raymond to promise that if things with Shay get serious, it ain't gonna be no shacking up. I said, don't try to convince that man otherwise. If that's how he feel and Shay already know it, then let them do what they do. That's her decision. If she want to stick around with Raymond and common law it up, she might want to. She might be trying to protect her assets. Who knows? I don't know. That's why I say I'm not gonna get in anybody's business. If that's what y'all want to do, as long as y'all agree. But don't come around me with it though. Nia and Chris, that was cringy to watch. Y'all, I'm sorry. I feel like my energy is not where it needs to be. I feel like it's really low, and I feel like I'm talking to y'all kind of like deadpan. If you feeling that way, it has nothing to do with me not wanting to do the review. I'm not in a bad mood or nothing like that. I just y'all know how I am about my family. I've talked about it on my reviews plenty of times. I definitely was raised by a village, and we had a death this morning, and it's like the second death since I've been in like this. It's been more deaths, but this is the second one that's really, really, truly affected me since I've been here or doing military stuff, which is still the best decision I ever made. I don't regret it, but it's hard when you can't move or when you can't leave, and that really, really gets to me because I feel like I need to be there. I need to be helpful. I need to be supportive. I need my family to I don't know. It's just so much you can do over the phone and like video chat and stuff. So if I seem low, it's because of that. It has nothing to do with me. Like, I don't want y'all thinking like, why you even get on camera if you was gonna be acting like this? Like, it's nothing like that. I'm just feeling some type of way about it, and wishing that I could be at home with I just wish I could be there. Wasn't expected. Some surgery didn't go the way it was supposed to go. So, and I know they're gonna have a hard time. I know it's gonna be hard. And with COVID, here you need to be able to prove relationship before you go. And if pretty much if it ain't the person who raised you or immediate your sibling, it's gonna be a no. So and you got to kind of start different processes over. So whoo, child. So that's the reason, if y'all are feeling that, I just wanted to apologize early because I still wanted to do the review. Watching Nia and Chris was cringy because I still don't like the way that Nia behaved. I'm not saying I don't agree. I'm not saying that I don't believe that Nia should have her choices. She absolutely should. But her behavior was not, I thought it was despicable. I thought she acted real ugly. She says there was not a host of men waiting for her. She actually was just talking junk. But she does say that what annoyed her about Chris is that she thought they had already squashed it with their personal conversation that they had later. But Chris went off and had all these other conversations with everybody else publicly. And so these people were kind of coming up to her, and she didn't really like that because they had already talked. So she said she didn't really appreciate that part of it, and that's where a lot of her aggravation came from. I think Chris was going around asking everybody because he wanted to see if he was wrong or see if he needed to fix it. He was trying to get everybody's advice, and the men were real impressed with Chris because he went in completely vulnerable. You know, he was real about his feelings and his emotions, and so it seemed like Nia just kind of cut it off. And Nia still doesn't feel like she did that. I do still feel like she did that. But I can understand her aggravation with, like, if we already talked, don't be going around talking to everybody about what we talked about. But I guess she felt like it made her look bad. She still showed out though. I mean, that doesn't change. She still showed out towards the end. But Tommy asked her what's going on now, and she says that her and Edwin have dated. They've been dating. And nephew Tommy, see, this all just goes back to the fact that men and women have different definitions of what dating and dated and date, of what those words mean. I actually learned that back in college. I had got cussed out. That's another story for another day, because me and another person had a different definition of what dating meant. So men seem to think dating, from my experience anyway, doesn't mean, it means like something like that's gearing up to being serious, or it might be serious, but y'all are showing interest in each other. Y'all are possibly thinking about seeing each other exclusively, like something that's on the tone of serious or getting along those tones. Women, when we say we're dating, we mean we're going on dates, right? Like, we're going on dates with this person, but we might be going on dates with another person too. Like, we're literally just going on dates. And so that's how I had ended up getting cussed out, because I was like, yeah, I'm dating. You know, I was confused. We had two different definitions or whatever, you know, because he thought that meant I was getting serious. And I was like, well, I'm going on dates. Like, we're not together. Like, I'm confused. So, yeah, seems to be some definition confusion up there, because Nia was like, me and Edwin have dated. Nothing is serious. The door's still open for other men. I don't know. I don't like the way Edwin was looking up there while she was talking. Like, she kind of was making it seem like, yeah, Edwin is cool, but if somebody else come along that's better than Edwin, I'm going to drop Edwin like a hot potato and I'm going to move on to that person. And she still kind of had that sense of arrogance about her too. Like, you know, that when you with one of the baddest type of attitude that she had before she left, she still kind of had that same energy, even, you know, when she was sitting up there talking to nephew Tommy. And I was like, this is all kind of making me uncomfortable. I still didn't really like how she was acting on the stage. She was saying until somebody put a ring on it, the door is still open. I was like, so even if you're in a relationship, is the door still open for somebody to come in? Or like, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling Nia like that. Now, I don't, if Edwin wants to date Nia, because he said he didn't feel any type of way when she said that none of the guys had her interest, or she wasn't interested in any of them, because he knew where it came from and it didn't apply necessarily to him. And that's fine. But how did you feel about how she was talking on that stage though? That's my thing. But I don't want to spend too much time on Nia, because I think she got a lot of growing to do. But I think she's one of those people that if you tell her that, she gonna be looking at you like, child, please. I'm Nia. So I don't feel like it's nothing we need to talk about too long. But what y'all think about how she was acting? Or am I the only person feeling that way? Chris said that he is not looking, but he's here to be found, which was funny, because I was like, Deacon Chris, it don't really work that way. But I get, child, I don't know. Him and Nia even got into a little something over there where she was like, yeah, but it's supposed to be you finding her. I said, child, Chris just move a little different. Deacon Chris just move a little different. But he seems like a nice guy, so I do hope he finds the right lady, and, you know, to keep him and find him. We can move on. So there's been a lot of talk about Rashid and his skin. He had an allergic reaction to a steroid injection, I think, that he was taking for his back. So that's why his skin was a little splotchy. There's a talk with Rashid and Denise and the whole narcissistic thing. And Rashid was just like, I didn't really appreciate it, because I feel like you put it in people's minds that I was a certain type of way when you made that comment. And so you may have had other people judging me negatively, which other people thought certain stuff about Rashid too, because of the whole Nordstrom thing that he had talked about. So they already kind of had some thoughts about Rashid, but I don't know if they were as extreme as him being a narcissist, like Denise had mentioned, or possibly being a narcissist. Narcissistic vibes is what she said, I think. Denise, Denise hit him with that, if I offended you, I apologize. And I hate when people do that, because I'm telling you, you offended me. So if you want to apologize, you can. And Rashid did want an apology, but he was just like, if it's going to be like that, then I don't even want it. Which, if I was Rashid, I would have been like, it's fine. It's squashed. I don't even care, because Denise did work her way around eventually to apologizing, but I don't know if I felt like that apology was genuine, because she was still kind of scapegoating it. She was like, if I offended you, I apologize. I'm gonna apologize because I feel like everybody else wants me to say sorry. No, if you don't feel like you need to do it, then just don't do it. All right, if you feel like you don't owe them nothing, then don't say it. You can feel how you feel, but just stand in it. Okay, don't apologize. Say you apologizing because everybody wants you to, or if I offended you. But she eventually worked around to it. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling Denise that much on the reunion, honestly. So then her and Adriana get into it as well, because Adriana was just like, you constantly disrespected me while you were there. In addition to Rashid, you constantly threw me disrespect. And Denise felt like she was constantly disrespectful. So that's why if Adriana felt like Denise was giving her disrespect, that's because Adriana was giving Denise disrespect. So I guess they was being disrespectful towards one another. They have a little tiff back and forth, and Tommy just wants to know if they can squash it. And Denise was like, it's been squashed. I already had a conversation with her. Adriana says she ain't gonna squash it. She don't think she could ever squash it. And if her and Denise knew each other in another life, if they was just out just being regular women, they are two different types of women, and they wouldn't even vibe then, and they would not be friends. And so she doesn't think it's ever something she gonna squash. Which was funny, but I admired Adriana for keeping it real. Like, no, it's not squashed with me. I don't like it. And I don't really care for her, basically, is what she was saying. So I had to admire her for at least keeping it real. But it don't matter if they squash it or not. They not friends. So that's fine. I will still always say that Adriana did not have interest in Calfani. I still believe she did that to irritate Denise. I really do. And then in the process ended up liking Calfani a little bit. But I still think she did that to aggravate her. I do believe that. But I also believe, which we move into next, that Denise was coming off as jealous. She keeps saying that she could never be jealous, and I would never, could never, but you were coming off like that. She says that people mistake her assertiveness for aggressive, and yeah, I think that does happen with Denise sometimes. She's not necessarily the greatest communicator of all time, and some people do take her assertiveness as aggressiveness, but I gotta say that you do come off looking like sometimes that you just got attitude. You just generally have an attitude. It's nobody mistaking it. It's nobody's messing it up. Nobody's not understanding. Sometimes you just literally have an attitude that is inappropriate. I really do believe that. I still think that Denise is beautiful. I still think she could go far, but I still see things in her that are red flags, and I saw them in the beginning. And I know people are going to be like, there's a lot of talk about dark-skinned women getting labeled as aggressive, and I've talked about that on here a lot. And I do believe that does happen. But you guys, I'm never going to be the person to give somebody a pass if I actually feel like they have an attitude. I can't do that. Because I just wouldn't be a well-balanced person if I did that. So if I see something and it don't look right, I'm going to call it out, whether we dealing with colorism issues in the community or not. I'm just going to have to call it. So sometimes she does have a bad attitude, and that's just what it is. And then she has a hard time admitting when she's wrong too. So y'all can let me know what y'all think about that too. But once Calfani get on stage, and side note, when I look back at Calfani's scenes on the show, I'm really annoyed at the way that Calfani laughs. Like, it really gives me the heebie-jeebies, because his mouth be so wide. His mouth be so wide, and it really annoys me. I can't even do it like I want, because I don't want to attract attention my way, but that laugh really gets to me. But Calfani wanted Denise to keep it real. Like, you were acting kind of jealous, you were acting kind of possessive. This is when she says no, she didn't have anything to be jealous of, and still don't. So we get to the talk with Adriana and Calfani, and boy, what a tangled web we weave. One thing about those tables, you guys, is that they do always turn. So Calfani and Adriana left together. They said that they were ready to love. He had chosen his one, she had chosen hers. And did y'all hear Denise over there saying, because I left, you didn't have no other choice? So we found out later that Calfani actually decided to get back with his ex. His ex left a note on his door as soon as he got back, and he decided to make it work with her. And it made Adriana question, was it real? Was any of the stuff that we experienced real? And Calfani was like, are you serious? You really think that I could have faked it? And I said, sit back, Adriana. Sit back. Let cousin JoJo handle this. Yes or no? Okay, yes or no? We don't need all of that incredulous. You really believe that I know? Yes or no? Did you always plan on getting back with your ex? Because I think he did. I think he always had plans to get back with the ex. Just my personal thoughts. Y'all can let me know. When they get Rasheed up on the stage, we get through the whole history of the ghosting situation. Rasheed said that it was a mutual ghost, first of all, because he was going through a divorce and their date was really awkward. Adriana said she was really feeling Rasheed in the beginning, but Rasheed started pulling away once she was going out with Calfani, and Rasheed was like, duh, because I'm old school, you know, I'm chivalrous. I'm going to court you, but if I feel like your attention is elsewhere, I'm going to pull back and let you explore that. I didn't have a problem with that. I feel like, just like she was saying, the process works where some days you're number one and some days you're not. Okay, the process works where if another connection is being explored, then the second option does need to fall back a little bit, or else you end up looking like Winter, creeping through the hallways at 1 a.m. But we ain't talking about that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody else has another connection to explore, the other person, to me, is right in kind of falling back and making sure that, you know, you still got to protect yourself. Like, come on, Adriana. It's like she wanted Calfani to be all into her. And then she wanted Rasheed to be like kind of following behind her too. Like, oh, please, please, please don't forget about me. And no, it don't really work like that. So I think Rasheed was right in doing how he moved and what he did. He really shouldn't have been trying to feel old girl in the first place, do the whole ghosting. But we already talked about that in the comments. So what else happened? So they explained that whole thing. And then Calfani, once he tells us that he got back with the ex, he never meant to hurt Adriana, you know, it just kind of happened the way it happened. I still don't know if I believe that. Adriana says that person already had a good relationship with his kids, you know, so she had no choice or whatever, you know, he was going to be with her. And Tommy is asking Rasheed, you know, this was your number one, and now that you know she's single, I said, Rasheed, you bet not say that you would date this girl again. But we didn't even have to worry about it, because while Rasheed is trying to answer the question, Adriana is over there side talking with Calfani, because Calfani want her to understand that it was real, and I can't believe you questioned our connection. Just shut up. You already with somebody else, so it don't matter what she questioned or what she not questioning. Don't be trying to get over here and ask a whole bunch of questions about how she feel and what she feel. Even afterwards, he was still trying to get her to understand what we need to understand. You already with another woman. You moved on. Ain't nothing else we need to understand. But y'all over there talking and chit-chatting while this man is trying to explain how he, once again, Rasheed, she showed you who she was. She showed you she wasn't interested. And my thing is, I'm actually glad she didn't choose Rasheed, because just that interaction on stage let me know, oh, she probably wasn't feeling him like that. Right? Safe choice, but I'm kind of glad she didn't choose it, because it might have not ended up right for Rasheed. Rasheed said they were in different stages and ages in life, and Adriana gonna say, well, I believe he's only saying that because I didn't choose him. If I would have chose him, that comment would have never came up. Yes, it would have. I think it would have. I really do. I think it still would have came up. I think he would have seen it. Even if y'all got together, I think it would have showed up eventually. I do. So in the end, I forgot this part. Jay and Joy aren't together. Like, because of how everything transpired, and I guess also because she's grieving, Jay also has to work on his romance. They're still seeing each other, but it's like a situationship. They still trying to figure out what they gonna do. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work out, but I don't know. So that was it, y'all. They go around and ask, you know, who's doing what and what's gonna happen. I mean, look like the strongest connection on the stage right now is Raymond and Shay. Ain't that a plot twist for you? So y'all can let me know what y'all thought about it. I hope you guys continue to have a great day. Just keep my family in your thoughts and prayers. They're having a really rough time, and just keep them in your prayers. It's gonna be a rough one. So thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna put a little something at this video that I think is really gonna make you guys happy once I edit it in. And y'all just have a great day. Bye. Freestyle battle, and next thing I know, all I hear is creep and we crawl, ball till we ball, in the parking lot, and then something hunt the mall. Got me some cuties, they all some beauties. When they turn around, they might have the big booty. Calfani, baby, why is you yelling?